Good evening, everyone. Welcome to America's Third Party, your link sharing source. Hello, I'm David Sponheim, and today is Technology Thursday. This is America's Third Party, and you can reach us at americasthirdparty.com whenever you want. You can check out our platform. You can go to our old site button, which tells you how to get me on the ballot in your state. It can also tell you about your own personal life, in a way. It's a reflection of us. The more we're apathetic, the more likely bad things will happen to us. So if you want to get involved, you can. If you don't want to, just tell people about a third party, and that's a good starting point, okay? We are in the midst of what appears to be a serious case of government-planned anarchy. It's never been done in the history of America, but it looks like our president is either a complete buffoon, which is possible, or he just doesn't care that Dr. Fauci is putting COVID-positive people in nursing homes. And we are seeing an increase in deaths in nursing homes, but overall, the numbers are just not that bad. So we've seen a lot of fear-mongering under Trump, not a lot of clarification under Trump. And this government-planned anarchy is virtually the live exercise that he's engaged in. Now, there's some big players here that we have to be worried about, namely George Soros and Bill Gates. And there are a lot of discussions about Bill Gates being married to a woman that may not be a woman. We're not sure. Melinda seems to have changed her look. And here she is donning an inverted cross, a very suspicious type of thing. But she doesn't look like Melinda anymore. So there's big questions about Bill Gates, his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, why Melinda doesn't look like Melinda anymore. I mean, that's huge. And then there's also questions about George Soros and the funding he's been doing with Black Lives Matter and Antifa, and how he's paying rioters and God knows what else he's paying for. Bricks from the Acme Brick Company that he's part owner in? I don't know. So there's a lack of oversight by our government, gross lack of concern for our Bill of Rights. And as you know, I support our Bill of Rights fully. I'm not in any way weak on that. I'm 100% Bill of Rights guy. I'm not quite a Constitution Party guy or a Peace and Freedom guy or a John Bircher. I'm a brand new type of centrist who simply wants what we should have had all along and wants to address the issues of the environment, wants to do it without taxing you, the American people, wants to spiral this growth process of jobs and production, which we can't seem to do under the two-party system. Okay, the book by Mary Trump, first day in sales has skyrocketed to nearly 1 million on its first day. Now, I'm sure Donald Trump bought most of those copies, but maybe tomorrow you might get in on this deal. Well, think about it. I mean, it's a pretty good investment for Donald Trump to buy all those copies. So how do we know that the number of copies Mary's selling isn't just going into a warehouse somewhere, you know? But she's the niece of Donald Trump, who's finally been able to come out of the shadows and talk about his terrible history in the family. And I respect the fact that she's written the book, and I would love to read it. But frankly, I don't need to know too much about Donald Trump's personal life. We know how bad he is, but I'm sure many of you will like reading it. The CDC and the World Health Organization aren't going to be seeing the COVID stats because Donald Trump won't admit it, but the COVID stats have been completely faked across the board by the CDC. Now, instead of saying that, Donald Trump is now moving the operation to the World Health, basically moving the CDC's operation to the Health and Human Services Division. So HHS will now be dealing with the COVID stats, but I seriously don't expect less corruption from them either. I really don't. So even moving these stats over from another place, we've already found Florida was caught red-handed. I tweeted about it today. Yeah, we've seen an investigation. I played the story yesterday from a local news feed of how they were telling people, or they were claiming at various centers that did the testing that 100% of the people that tested were positive for COVID. It's like, what? And this News Star article I played the past couple days, which you can go back and watch that show if you want, describes what's happening. They're padding the stats. It's very bad. Even Florida ordering coroners to stop releasing coronavirus death data because it conflicts with their narrative. And worst of all, a Florida scientist, check this out, was fired, refusing to manipulate the COVID-19 data. Oh yeah, it's just ridiculous. Florida scientists, they literally fired this person, a wonderful young lady. Let's take a look. There she is. They fired her because she wouldn't manipulate the data. She loses her job. So these people are playing really corrupt games, trying to manipulate the data, trying to make people think, oh, the second wave is terrible, blah, blah, blah. They really want us to believe that. They're fanning the flames of fear and pushing us to the nth degree of our sanity for a lot of you. Okay, thank you for all the links we got. We got a bunch of links from the St. Canadian. I'm going to try to bring them in. A New York PD officer beats a homeless guy on the subway, and the homeless guy is charged with assault. Go figure. I'll play that first. We'll get to the next one. Thank you. Good stuff. Ex-cop gets 4 years prison after making homeless man lick a urinal. That's a good thing. Okay, that's another good one. And one more? Or that's it? Good links. Okay, thank you. All right, we made a wonderful dinner in our cookie show. In case you're wondering what the cookie show is like, it went off very well. We had all the broadcasts working except for Twitch. I managed to get into the live and I played that for you guys. So you asked, I delivered on better technology. But we had Periscope rolling too, and now I'm up and running in there if you want to hang out. We did hashtag WayfairGate, so I will be touching on the Wayfair issue and how all these stories keep propagating about furniture that sells for $10,000 to $20,000 that would normally sell for a couple hundred, hiding on the Wayfair site with the names of missing children. Very suspicious stuff, so we'll get to that a little bit later as well. Hard to believe that all this stuff is happening. The more they try to impinge on our freedom, the more time people have, free time people have to do this research. And man, the Reddit groups just opened up a huge display of corruption on the internet. It's been serious. I mean, the more we look, the more we find these people are doing it in plain sight. They're trading in children, allegedly. Now, on the 25th, we're coming up on the day of, I believe it's the day Chester Bennington died, I believe. So we'll be doing a special on him. Oh, excuse me, on the 20th. That's 4 days away. We'll be doing a special on Chester Bennington and his alleged association with John Podesta and all that stuff. So we'll have more of a focus on that later. I believe that there was foul play. I don't believe it was a suicide. I don't believe that Chris Cornell was a suicide either, and we'll talk about that on the 20th as well, which will be the anniversary of his death. Wow, 3 years ago. Amazing. Chester Bennington of Lincoln Park. Okay, so we've got a lot of deception going on in the government. Not a lot of truth-telling. Trump is reeling from the low numbers of acceptance, 36% approval rating. He fired Pascal, but didn't really fire him. He said he's still in the agency, he's just not leading. But Pascal was the fall guy for Trump's sinking poll numbers. He always fires people on his team as opposed to people who are corrupt, like Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden. He never goes after those people. You notice that? Now, a lot of you believe that somehow Donald Trump is stopping the deep state.
For more on all that, let's bring in, on the Trump campaign shakeup, I should say, Dan Henninger joins us, deputy editor of the Wall Street Journal editorial page and a Fox News contributor. Dan, good morning. Great to start.
I didn't really want to play that. Yeah, it does look like he was the fall guy, but bear in mind, Donald Trump's poll numbers really are pretty much reflective of the fact that he shut down the economy. I shut it down. They told me to shut it down, so I shut it down. Why? And who are they? We're still wondering who they are. And the American people have no answers because we don't have a political process that works. The people ask a question, nobody hears it. We are all living under the illusion that we have a democracy when we don't even have anything close to a democracy. We know that George Soros owns Trump, that he's good friends with Soros, so we know that he's not going to stop the anarchy. Trump is part of that. But if you believe that Trump is stopping the deep state, and I know Amazing Polly, she says Trump's stopping the deep state, that Michael Flynn did something to stop the deep state. They're looking into the child pedophilia. Trump has done nothing to investigate child pedophilia or Pizzagate. Nothing. Michael Flynn didn't even do that. His son did. Michael Flynn was the one that cavorted and colluded with the Russians and admitted it and then denied it later. But his son was the one that was researching the Pizzagate story. So if you're going to do research, do it all the way, okay? If you're going to defend Donald Trump as part of your agenda, don't talk about kids that are being abused and sold on the internet like it's some sort of Trump agenda, okay? That's all I ask. Because she's a really good researcher and I respect her work. But she keeps leaning toward Trump and using this whole Wayfair Gate as an excuse to think that Trump is somehow doing something. Trump has not done anything or advanced the subject nor even mentioned Wayfair Gate once. Or anything that's relevant like firing anybody who worked with Hillary Clinton during Benghazi or going after Hillary Clinton in Benghazi. Nothing. We still have a lot of information we could gather on that subject. Trump did nothing. Barack Obama, the birth certificate issue, that was my issue for years. I'm the birther candidate, the original one in '08. Donald Trump took the idea in 2012, acted like it was his, made some news, and then all of a sudden dropped it when he became president. He never prosecuted Barack Obama for lying on his birth certificate, not even being a U.S. citizen. You see, these egregious acts cannot be defended by somebody claiming that QAnon is doing a good job or that Trump is doing a good job. It just cannot be defended. There's too much effort out there in all different directions that are not related, that's not related to QAnon, for the QAnon people to take credit for this information, especially the Wayfair Gate story. So don't take credit for that, okay? Thank you. Trump is probably one of them. Fry's just made a good point, yeah. Let's not forget that Trump was allegedly with a young girl, 13 years old, and with Jeffrey Epstein at the Mar-a-Lago when the young girl alleged that he raped her. 13-year-old girl, that Trump raped her. Don't forget that. Now, she did withdraw the case because they threatened to kill her. I would think Gloria Allred would be all red over this. She would have, at least filed some papers, but no. Apparently the threat was real. Okay, QAnon is a group of people that are alt-right people who constantly create a story that somehow Donald Trump is stopping the deep state when he does nothing to advance that. Yeah. Yeah, I never started it. I've been the one leading on these issues. QAnon came in afterward. But as far as Wayfair Gate is concerned, let's just say that we are going to be finding out a lot more about this over time. Yeah, we don't take any videos. Is this a music video? Yeah, I'm not going to do that right now. Wow, you got a lesbian hand you some food at the takeout store, and then some homosexual man was helping her, and you're having a problem getting fast food at your restaurant because it's served by lesbians and homosexual men. You might want to try another retail outlet, some sort of a new, like heterosexual to go, something like that. Abraham Lincoln. I personally didn't think of him as a hero. He was one of my favorite presidents until, we talked about his bad behavior. The more I found out about Abraham Lincoln, the more I realized there was something wrong with his the way he operated. I mean, he literally supported slavery. Now, the Chinese government is involved in what appears to be some sort of slavery. And our government hasn't done anything to expose that. Trump refuses to talk about this. This was a photograph of the Uyghur people being carted off in train cars, much like the Gestapo used in World War II. And these people are known prisoners, political prisoners, that are simply there because they're Muslim. Bengalita says David is adrenochrome real. According to chemists that are out there, that the chemical formula can be duplicated. So the idea that adrenochrome is being harvested from children could be real, that coming from their adrenal glands when they're being tortured. That's very possible. I don't know the difference between the chemically derived adrenochrome and the adrenochrome derived from torturing children, nor do I have any knowledge of this other than that there are chemists that say it can be manufactured. So I don't have a lot of information. These people are being harvested for their organs. The Chinese government uses the Uyghur people. Anyone who steps out of line in this entire thing you're looking at is immediately sent to a place where they torture them and harvest their organs. So I don't understand why all these people who have had their heads shaved have to be treated this way. And I'm not sure why we have to trade with a country that's engaged in this heinous activity unless we get some assurances that this may end someday. Now, Trump has not done anything to advance this issue of human rights in China, but he's really ruined our relationship with China, and we don't know why. It's very possible that Trump has a $600 million debt with Chinese banks, which we know is a fact, and that he's trying to gain control over the Chinese trade agreement by getting leverage over them. That being the case, I doubt he even has any time to think about human rights. He's too busy worried about his own financial agreement with China. Okay, you have a picture of a man who's a medic. There are gay men as medics, yes. What's the problem with having gay people in healthcare? I don't get your hatred for gay people. I don't know who's been raised in Wayfair cabinets, especially $20,000 cabinets. No, I don't have any evil family traits whatsoever. No, none that I know of. If there were Sponheims in Germany prior to World War II, they may have been related to me distantly as ancestors, related to my same ancestors, but I'm not related to the Germans that were there in World War II, per se. Yeah, my family left Germany in 1100 AD. We weren't happy with the way the castle was being handled. Okay? Hey, many of you are going in for that COVID test, that dreaded COVID test. Some people believe that this technology is so deficient and that there's no gold standard for the COVID test that they're even thinking of implanting microchips in the back of your nose that will never be removed. So I'm really hesitant to have anybody get COVID tested. So I promise you, if I'm president, when I'm president, I will not force COVID test anyone in America, ever. We will not force vaccinate anyone in America, ever. Okay? These are important issues to think about. Yeah, you can't just ignore these things. If you want to prevent yourself getting some sort of an RFID chip stuck 6 inches in the back of your head, because I was trying to figure out why they were sticking it 6 inches in the back of your head. Well, apparently that's the reason. Hey, guess who's living through the biggest psychological operation in the history of mankind? Yeah, you. That's right. Congratulations. We are under the attack of a global world government, a new world order, if you will, and they'll do anything to stop the people, the resistance. Now, we've been censored heavily on all kinds of internet networks, as you know, and there's a purpose behind what we're doing. I do this for free every day, never taken a penny from any of this, simply because I am not owned like Donald Trump. I am not owned by the Russians and whoever other agents are working for Russia, like...
He tells it as it is. My husband, he's raw and he's real.
I bet he is. Yeah, raw and real. Okay, I'm a little busy right now, Gordon. You're kind of capitalizing on the... We're going to talk briefly about this terrible Twitter hack that happened. A terrible Twitter hack occurred. I'm going to ask you not to post here so you can't come in here anymore. Yeah, the Twitter hack. Let's talk about it. What do you say? It's a Bitcoin scam is what it was. Bill Gates, Musk, Biden were basically, they breached their Twitter accounts. And then an offer was put out offering a matching Bitcoin expenses or something. Suspected Bitcoin scammers grabbed control of accounts belonging to the rich and famous, as well as lower profile accounts, for more than 2 hours during the afternoon and tricked at least a few hundred people into transferring the cryptocurrency into their account. Wow. One of the tweets said, everyone is asking me to give back, and now is the time. The tweet said, you send $1,000, I send you back $2,000. Huh. Somebody who'd fall for that is crazy. They literally sent $1,000 to Barack Obama and Bill Gates accounts, and they weren't even their accounts, and then they'd lost those Bitcoins thinking they're going to double their money. People are greedy, and that scammers work on that greed concept. If you ever see something too good to be true, it's definitely not true. Okay. Joe Biden, Bill Gates, Elon, this is another story of the same variety. It's unclear how the hackers gained access to the accounts, some of which are known to use two-factor authentication. Yeah, that's the weird part. So Twitter's got a lot of work to do to resolve the security breach, and they've suspended those accounts for the time being. So you're wondering why Barack Obama is not tweeting about Wayfair Gate? That's why. I don't think talking about Abraham Lincoln like this is you're not denied doing that. You can talk about him this way. I'm not here to take away your freedom of speech, man. Yeah, I don't want to suspend you've already lost your flag. And now the Redskins have lost their name. The Washington Redskins are now moving their name away from what they believe was some sort of a... Hang on. I'm looking for the news story on the Redskins. Oh, they didn't change their name yet? Okay. The Washington Navajos? Oh, no. We're not sure what their name is. We'll find out later. Okay. That's not really a story yet. Good to know. Okay. How are you, man? He's been selling your secrets to the DNC and RNC. It's how they steal ideas. Oh, okay. Let's take a look. This man who you claim is some sort of a interloper between the Democrats and our own party. I don't know. I can't confirm that.
So,
hi, Sarah. Yeah, you making.
There's one I didn't make. I used the lost tortilla to make a ham wrap
Okay.
that I refrigerated because
Oh.
I just didn't have enough.
Oh, great. So it almost made 12 wraps. Cool. Sarah is going to show you her new technology that she's going to reveal from her purchase. Okay. G. Gordon keeps posting pictures of Abe Lincoln that are very unfavorable. And it's like the South is so angry that their Confederate flag was removed from the Mississippi State flag that they're simply angry.
He isn't even in Mississippi. He's in South Carolina.
I know, but he's just saying he's so angry.
He thinks because I have a last name, he thinks he traced my ancestry, and he thinks my ancestors were slaveholders.
No, that's not true. That's a lie.
Whatever he wants to think. He's going.
Well,
oh, look, I have a jetpack too.
Whoa.
I have a jetpack here.
Yeah, be sure you remember how everything went back in.
Okay.
Those are the shoulder pads. This may require assembly, so it's not something we can
That's
just
good.
pull out of the box.
Okay, I'll just unbox it with them.
She's going to unbox it with you. All right. Sarah's going to come into the show.
It's pretty wrapped up. I brought some rubbing alcohol in. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna pause the show for a while, and we're gonna try to get back into iVlog. We've been knocked out of there. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Sarah's gonna come in right now and hang out with you guys. I'm gonna pause the broadcast. We'll be back in just a bit. If you want to catch Sarah live, you have to watch the live show or catch our Twitter feed. Okay, we're back up and running. Thank you, everybody, for coming in and participating in Sarah's time. we did a little thing showing this amazing device, the Buzz Lightyear helmet, which we did without the green screen, amazingly enough. You can see it. Let me pull the green screen off. There you go. And this helmet, we're going to try to adapt it, make it into a full-on breather helmet. So when you can go out in your area, you'll be totally cool. You'll be the Buzz Lightyear person who's COVID friendly. Yeah, and maybe another apparatus to add to your apparatus, maybe air-conditioned clothing as well. I mean, think of the possibilities, the technologies, the many advances. Pretty soon we'll be walking around in the same space gear that the NASA group pretended to be in when they pretended to go to the moon. Welcome to the show, everyone. Here we go again. Rocket Man, burning to... I really think that hood idea might actually work, and we're working on things that might be suitable for all of our new COVID-friendly safety living environments. Right? If you were kind of an isolated person before you started this COVID distancing, you're even worse now. It's like, gee, I had hoped to have friends. I remember when you talked about meeting someone. I know. It's just crazy how many people are having a problem now with their social skills. So thank goodness we have this show to share. I feel like I'm talking to you in a coffee shop. You know, you, whoever you are. And we're just sitting there at the Denny's and I'm having my Grand Slam and you're telling me about perpetual engines that, you know, run on endless energy. Or maybe we're just talking, you know. We actually met Mr. Bumpus of Christmas Story fame in Cleveland, his hometown, and he was a big viewer on our show over at Blog TV, and it was great. We enjoyed talking to each other, but every time I launched into a conversation, he said, "Dave, I've heard that before," because he had watched my entire show. It's like, yeah, I know. It's like I've almost given everything out in my show over the 30,000 hours of broadcasting. But I don't know you, but I know you're human. And I know that you don't fall for BS. Now, right now, there's a big story that is trying to divert our attention from Ghislaine Maxwell. The Anoners are talking about Chrissy Teigen. You know, all these Anon people. Well, David J. Harris, I don't know what he is, but he has a show. And Chrissy Teigen is the story. And apparently this celebrite went out on a limb talking about all eating children and all this stuff about Pizzagate. And then she freaked out and pretty much deleted 60,000 emails when the story kind of went viral that she had been doing that. Conspiracy theory has linked her to Jeffrey Epstein and they wanted to know more, and then she just backed away. But really this whole story is almost like a tosser. It's like they're tossing you a football instead of focusing on the game right in front of you. That's what I think. And the game is Ghislaine Maxwell, and she hasn't even been seen. Bob of Rumpelstiltskin says, David, I heard the economy was about to die. Comments? Yes, it is. That's what government planned anarchy is, Bob. Yeah, I predicted all of this years ago. But now it's coming to light. This is the big move the elites have, is to shut our economy down. Let's talk about the Wayfair cabinets that are selling for $10,000 to $20,000. And Wayfair has no comment other than to say, according to bloggers who've been contacting these people, that the cabinets really did sell for $20,000, $19,000, $10,000, $11,000. So let's assume that if these cabinets are out there for $11,000, they could be really, really nice cabinets, but they're not. I can't see proof of that. So it does look like they're moving product. And the amazing Polly, she does a great job with research, and my hat's off really to you QAnoners in your effort to uncover Pizzagate. But you can't tie Trump to it. He hasn't investigated his friend Jeffrey Epstein. Don't keep running your mouth off about Trump doing this and that, and Michael Flynn doing this. He didn't do anything. His son did something. Not Michael Flynn. He never talked about Pizzagate. That was his son. I'm a good person with a historical record, and I can pull that video up if I can. Accessing file. People are so worried about the scary viruses, they forget how advanced the human body is. We're stronger than millions of viruses all combined. I know. We're invincible. We are invincible, invincible. Boy, a little virus can take us down. What a trip. Well, be cautious. I'm not telling anybody to force mask yourself. I personally believe that that took a while. This picture came up last night. It's hilarious. This appears to be Ellen DeGeneres on a bad day and John D. Rockefeller on a good day. It's amazing how they morph together. Yeah, shall we do it? Shall we do the morph? Do the morphing. We're gonna morph him and her and see if we indeed have a match. Well, there are people that believe in reincarnation. It's not uncommon. It's very possible that she may have inherited his DNA. Maybe she's related. Who knows? I mean, she might have been the Rockefeller's long-lost daughter. We don't know. I mean, I don't know much about Ellen DeGeneres. Yeah, the face is off. Different positioning. It would require morphing. But yeah, that's a pretty close match. All right, thank you for letting me talk about, the strangeness that's in the world. Cards, anybody? I can play some cards with you. Would you like to test your psychic fortune? You are traveling through another dimension. A dimension of both sight and sound, of both things and ideas. You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension of both sight and sound, of both things and ideas. One stop, your next stop. The Twilight Zone. Okay, so we have a lot of questions about people in America, and not a lot of those questions are being answered by our mainstream media. We veritably get no answers from them. Whenever I contact my senator, whenever I talk to my senator or congressman, they usually just laugh at me. So it's not like we have any word. Our word can get out there. That's why I'm asking you for your support to build what we think is the only solution to this two-party dilemma. I know. And you guessed it, a third party. You're so sick of the U.S. blaming Russia and North Korea for everything. I know. What's that big story about Russia hacking into our vaccine information? Why would Russian intelligence go after the stupidest, most doctored, manipulated statistics in American history? Why would they want to hack the vaccine industry when you can't create a vaccine for a mutating virus? It's impossible. You can't get any type of herd immunity either. So why would Russian intelligence be looking at our vaccine information? They're never going to create a vaccine, so Russian intelligence might as well back off. I'm sure Dmitry denied knowing anything about this. I know that Vladimir Putin denied having any knowledge whatsoever of this problem. What the hell is up with Howie Mandel? Ghislaine Maxwell's life is in danger? Okay. I don't even know if she's there. Is she in custody? Because I have yet to see a single mugshot of her. It's weird. I don't understand it. Let's take a look at Howie Mandel first. Metanemesis beat you to the punch. Our link providers are leading in different directions. This COVID thing may be pushing his OCD to the max. Howie? Oy vey.
People of...
Okay, he's going to do a little dance jig. Oh, this is great. He's lost it. He's lost it. He's been COVID isolating for so long that he forgot what he looks like.
TikTok. I'm okay. I have not been kidnapped. Thank you all for worrying. There is no signs in this video. Nothing to figure out except listen to what I'm saying. I'm fine.
What the hell is he writing? He's got some sort of a weird lettering on his chest. He's fine, but he's delivering some secret Russian message somewhere. TikTok is a plague. What does he have? I don't know. He's LOL, Howie Mandel. I'm reverting to your chat read as opposed to thinking right now. I have now gone into autopilot. LOL, Howie Mandel. Does he have cancer? I don't know. He thinks he's a Chippendales dancer. Intelligence is the ability to adapt to change, is what his shirt says. Okay. Well, thanks. Thanks for reading it. I didn't want to read any secret messages from Russia. I'm not sure, but I'm really quite concerned that intelligence agencies may be watching this.
This is crazy. Nobody's making me do this. And if somebody was making me do this, what are the instructions to do this? I'm fine, people.
Howie Mandel starting to lose it.
Hello, people of TikTok.
Okay, so now that we know that he's gone down the road of Randy Quaid and others as they slowly lose their mind to the COVID spacing, gradually deteriorating into a state of Biden-like dementia. Bidenencia. Slowly their world is fragmenting. The video is very weird. Yeah, this is a video of him that's even weirder. He's starting to lose. You know, I'd rather talk about, instead of Howie, I'd rather talk about
Howie.
Where's Richard Simmons? You know, at a time like this, how come we're not asking, go, 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 go. Let's play. Let's just work out. How come we're not doing that?
Mandel here. Creativity in just under a minute. Just take a regular shopping bag, and all you need is a pencil and a pair of scissors. If you just take the shopping bag and you clip the two corners off that side and that side, and you just take the pencil, and on the front I write shoe. I don't know if you can see it. Stuff. Then, can you see it? It says shoe stuff. Then you created a bag where you can put all your shoe stuff, and it's easy to reach into. Like you go, oh, where's my extra laces? Or where's some stuff for my shoes? That's what that is.
Howie, could the nurse get Howie his medication? I think it's time for the art room now, Howie. You may want to go. Would you like to do some ceramic work or maybe finger painting? What do you say? I think we're seeing another Jim Carrey meltdown. I'm serious. I'm thinking we're seeing Jim Carrey all over again. It's the isolated comedian turned narcissist turned OCD turned isolated. It's like a rap. I noticed that Robin Williams had it when I saw him in 1975 at a theater. It's like it's a dilemma. When you do all your work for that little cheap laughter you get on the stage, you become completely fixated on that mindlessness, the cheap laughter. So you have to go out of your way to change your face, dye your hair, and start a show online for free. That gives you the ability to do any kind of an impersonation anyone could possibly believe. I could even be running for president as David Sponheim. Ooh. But no, seriously. I'm not Jim Carrey. But he could be going down that road. Shoes, what's this about?
Keep joining in for other craft ideas.
How about crap ideas? This is scary, man. That wasn't even funny. Howie, you're losing your edge. You couldn't even open for Shecky Green in the Catskills. I'm telling you, this sucks. Ron. Yeah, I hear you. You know, our numbers have really dropped significantly over at DLive. You probably know that, Ron. People have a hard time getting into the show. It just doesn't appear on the lineup. We know that we're being heavily censored there. Utah hearing on masks canceled as residents without masks fill the room. Huh. So you can't take a person's right to not wear a mask away from them. You know, masking people is a violation of the Nuremberg Code, along with forced COVID testing and vaccinations. The Nuremberg Code was set up right after Adolf Hitler was deposed of power, and the Nuremberg trial was put together, that the Nazis were not allowed to actually use people as guinea pigs or tests. So if they're trying to test whether masks work on you, they're not allowed to do that because it, number one, limits your oxygen. Right, Scissor Fight? Yeah. Limits your oxygen. I'm going to go back into the chat. We lost you for the past hour here. We're not sure what's going on. Small video hiccups. But also chat is down over there at iVlog. Weird. Oh, he was on Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was on Jimmy Fallon last night. Oh, yeah. If you find the interview, that'd be great. Yeah. Wayfair is selling Michael Jackson half boy pants. Wow. I don't think you're just making that up, right? Well, the whole Wayfair thing has families starting to talk about it. Yeah, families are starting to get divided on this. Like, why would anyone do that to children? Well, why would anyone be so bold as to sell pizzas for $11,000 to George Soros, but you forgot about Pizzagate? We learned all that from the WikiLeaks that John Podesta was putting out. And Hillary Clinton's emails where she bought pizza from James Alefantis as well. But now that Wayfair Gate is out, it's popping up left and right. Yeah, it's been happening. Okay, that looks like fun. So let's go to the room where Wayfair is being talked about. We did talk about this. Misanthropy found this. A guy who was arrested in Georgia for child trafficking, wearing a Wayfair shirt. Right. Not interesting. Now I'm going to play a video that is equally disturbing. Watch what this guy says.
Wayfair, 176,000 people talking about it. What are they talking about? They're talking about this. Before we go there, here's a history for Wayfair from last year. They had an issue where employees planned Wednesday walkout after learning they are making beds from migrant detention centers. We know where most of the kids who get trafficked are found. They're found in the detention centers. So that is a red flag right there, bloody glove, whatever you want to call it. Darian found this. See that cabinet? Keep a note of that. Samaya cabinet. $13,000 for that cabinet. What these people do, I'll tell you in a second. Samaya is a girl that actually went missing not too long ago, just months ago, and in Ohio. What they do is when they're selling these children on these sites, they hide it, and they make astronomical prices for cheap goods, and they change the names, exactly like you're seeing here. Same cabinet, different name, different price. How's that possible? Yuritsa's storage cabinet. Yuritsa is also someone, as she dug, 16-year-old girl who went missing on June 10th, 2020. This could be coincidence, but seems a little odd. Annabelle Wilson went missing May 13th, 2020. She's 14 years old. And we have a cabinet here called Annabelle 5, $10,899 for what appears to be a shitty cabinet. Same cabinet as the first two. Kyla, different name, different price. And when we dig here, Kyla went missing January 25th, 2020 in Ohio, which was the same as the first one. Now we will go to Explore. We did that. We'll go to Wayfair. We got about a minute left. So if we go to Wayfair here, you can see them on Wayfair's website. I've been squatting on this page for 2.5 hours trying to catch the price changes, and I just caught it. So I'm not refreshing or doing anything.
Oh, look at this.
First pillow. Forget cabinet. It's a fucking pillow for $10,000. Really? And guess who it's by? Ellen DeGeneres. None other. So we go here. Ellen's price is still the same. She's holding strong at $10,000. She's probably still a kid. Now we go to the other ones, though. We're going to watch these prices drop right before our eyes.
Look at this.
$10,000. Twitter went nuts. They started trending. Now the pillow's $47. This is what Anons do. And if you go to the next one here, $10,000. Now this one's $46.99. Go to the next one here, the Gianna pillow. This one's $10,000. Price dropped to $46.99. This is basically all dropping because people are exposing them. These people.
There you have it. one of many people who are exposing the Wayfair Gate story. Yeah. So we're looking at an investigation of Wayfair. So I argue that the government should get behind this now. We shouldn't just sit back and ignore this. So yeah, we're looking at investigation time. This is a red flag, and we can't just not investigate. So with the government not investigating, we're condoning evil like child trafficking, if indeed that's what's going on. We don't know. But this is a very weird time that we're living in, and we can't possibly think that this is something safe by any stretch of the imagination. So yes, investigate Wayfair. That's a big priority right now. So as the government plans anarchy and systematically imprisons its population, all these people sitting at home looking at stuff on the internet are uncovering a huge amount of evidence that could be used against companies out there that are doing this type of behavior. Now, Amazing Polly said that Wayfair isn't charging for shipping, and they're not charging as a markup on the packages and things that they sell. That's a huge red flag to her, and I agree with Amazing Polly on that. And we're going to play her video tonight. She went out of her way to talk about these things. Now, I don't endorse her support of Trump, but I'm not going to let that keep me from taking her good research and evaluating it, you know, looking at the merits of it. Here's a little bit of Amazing Polly. I'm going to give you the full 51 minutes tonight.
All around the world, $150 billion per year. And in 2011, it was $32 billion. This has been the growth industry. It's been the growth industry.
Wow.
Us people as products.
So she's talking about the growth of human trafficking, which I heard was up to 160 billion now, worldwide. Yeah, so this is a growth industry because these people are so sick, they're stealing people and putting them, enslaving them. So as the world begins to deteriorate, slavery is starting again. Oh yeah. And Donald Trump and his planned anarchy that he and Biden are both part of are ultimately trying to turn our country upside down. The Democrats are trying to ruin our economy at every local level. 7 Democratic governors simply doing their own thing, having mass protests for Black Lives Matter, like that's something the government should endorse. Terrorist organizations that work for the Muslim Brotherhood and shield and all kinds of election donations are shielded as an illegal conduit for the Democratic Party. So people from Lebanon or Syria could make donations to the Black Lives Matter group, and the money would go right into Joe Biden's hands. It already has. So how come Trump isn't talking about that? Because he's part of that big double-sided problem. You see, the elite own both parties. It's that simple. They own the left, they own the right. And why Amazing Polly's going off and believing Trump is not co-opted and bought off and is a friend of Jeffrey Epstein eludes me, because I respect her research ability, I do. And if she finds out that there's no trail of money for Wayfair to get money, I'm concerned, because she's very good at what she does. So if Wayfair really is an organization, is a shell corporation set up to move bodies or people, if that's the case, allegedly, we've got a lot of problems to deal with. And our government won't even talk about it. So yeah, that's something a third-party president would definitely do, investigate Wayfair. And I was never happy with the Pizzagate story being kicked off the internet. Why? I don't really know. Because CNN called it fake news? That's all I can presume. I mean, we saw James Alefantis stand there in front of everybody with a little girl strapped down to a table and act like it was perfectly okay with Megyn Kelly interviewing James Alefantis. The strapped down little girl taped all to the table is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And it was totally normalized on Fox Media, acting like it was no big deal. Wow. The American people have been shut up too long. We're pissed off. We're freaking out. I'll bring this up at any time. Give me a chance to debate. I'll be glad to bring up Wayfair. I'll be glad to bring up any subject that you might consider conspiracy theory. I mean, you people, you Democrats won't talk about the dangers of the 5G network. You won't discuss anything like that. You won't talk about vaccine safety You whitewash that. Oh, Bill Gates knows everything about vaccines. Bill Gates doesn't even have a degree in healthcare. He knows nothing of vaccines. I assure you, I know more about the dangers of the COVID-19 virus right now than Bill Gates could possibly even understand, simply by researching it deep on the internet. So don't trust somebody who goes over to Jeffrey Epstein's location and won't even talk about why he was there. Would you trust that person with injecting your kids with genetically modified material? I wouldn't. And he's just the front man for an even bigger conspiracy, ironically, which stretches right into our technology. The owners of the very media that we do business with online, the children of Rockefellers, the Edward Snowden, changed his name from Edward Greenberg. Jacob Greenberg changed his name to Jacob Appelbaum, who's the CEO of the Tor server. And then the backbone of the technology we have for social networking is run by Mark Greenberg. All these are the grandchildren of David Rockefeller. You wonder why there are no grandchildren out there doing business? The Greenbergs disappeared. These guys popped up. So when we talk about technology, we're talking about what these select group of rich people are going to do with very powerful weapons, like the 5G network, like genetically modified vaccines. Seriously, we're giving them the keys to the castle simply because they own it. Not because they deserve it, but because they own it. So we have a lot of problems when we talk about technology. There is evidence that the Rothschilds accessed very, very powerful chip technology, which was used in unmanned aerial vehicles, which could be ultimately used against the entire human race. That entire thing we call MH370, a plane that was taken down, no one knows why. On it were 4 or 5 technologists that owned the patent on this technology, this floating point technology, giving the ability of an unmanned vehicle to think 1,000 times faster or react faster than a human being or any other spacecraft. And that's an ominous, powerful tool that is now in the hands of the Rothschilds. That's not something we wanted to let the cat out of the bag. Those 4 other guys that held the patent are dead. MH370 took out 4 of the top leaders in this technology. The remaining owner of the patent is the Carlyle Group, owned by the Rothschilds, Jacob Rothschild in particular. So he has his fingers on the most powerful weapons technology in the world. How did we ignore that? Well, our government didn't even bother investigating how a plane can disappear. It whitewashes all this stuff and just gives us talking points and acts like, oh, well, we did our investigation, we could never find the plane. Well, I got bad news for you. That plane had all types of floating point technology is something that's being used even in video. It is a technology, giving advanced technologies like unmanned vehicles the edge. It is an entire chain of events that have happened as a result of this weird mishap. I can't explain it. Okay, what's going on here? Over 11 years jail. Here's the story. Rothschild inherits patent after 4 co-owners disappear on an MH370 flight. The KL-03 microchip, now under full control of the Zionist elite, mission accomplished. We don't know if they were to cause this plane to go down, took over and overtook its navigation system. We don't know that for sure. But they're the ones that would have benefited the most from that plane going down. Plus, that plane may have landed. There's evidence that plane landed in Diego Garcia. And our government whitewashed a very important story that came out about a man who claimed he put the folding phone technology, the flip phone technology, he had put in his butt. Yeah. And he managed to store the cell phone in his butt and pulled it out and left a text message from Diego Garcia. Well, the government claims there are no cell towers in Diego Garcia, which is absurd. There's 3 cell towers there. The government also cannot explain why the mechanical code of that text message sent into an open public bulletin board could possibly have been faked. It's impossible. And it did come from Diego Garcia. So if someone indeed landed that plane, they could have used it again. Over 11 years jail, 9 strokes for man who raped a maid and then molested a stranger while on bail. Singapore. A then married man asked his foreign domestic helper to massage him in the master bedroom, then seized the chance to hold her down and rape her. He was charged in court and released on bail. He broke the law again by molesting another woman at the Chinatown MRT station. Is there a picture of this guy? Well, we need a picture of the guy next time, okay? Thanks. If anyone has any confirmation of... Yeah, thanks for that link. I'll put it on the lineup. Is Wayfair trafficking children? Thanks. If anyone has any confirmation of anything going on with hospitals getting really busy right now, please submit your links to Film Your Hospital. But if you can't get through, just send me an email at americasthirdparty@gmail.com. I'll take your email and I'll post the link of a busy hospital. But if you want to post the link of a quiet hospital too, that's fine. But you can do it at hashtag Film Your Hospital. So far, we haven't found any busy hospitals to confirm the BS story that the CDC is putting out. And now Donald Trump is taking CDC's responsibility away of checking the disease. It's going into the hands of the Health and Human Services. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be better. Okay, that looks interesting. Yep, it's already getting 395,000 hits. People are really going on this Wayfair thing. It's a lot of traffic. Yeah, so if you want to send your stuff to hashtag Film Your Hospital, that'd be great. Let me post this stuff for you. Hi. You just came in the room? Wow, nice to see you. We're getting a lot of weird viewership over at iBlog because iBlog got hosed by DDoSers. Really bad. Okay, here's the other story I didn't show you earlier. But yeah, isn't that interesting about this technology? It's now in the hands of the Rothschilds. Okay, this man gets 4 years prison after making a homeless man lick a urinal. All right, here we go. Honolulu. A former Honolulu police officer will spend 4 years behind bars. He took from him his only possession, his dignity as a human being. Rabago and another ex-officer, Reginald Ramones, found the homeless man inside the stall of a public restroom after responding to a nuisance complaint. Rabago threatened to beat the crap out of the homeless man and stuff his face in the toilet if he didn't lick the urinal. Rabago is also accused of stepping on the man's legs to keep him on his knees and until he complained with a disgusting demand. Or, excuse me, complied with a disgusting demand. So here's the guy who did it with him, Reginald Ramones. No picture of the man who actually had to lick the toilet bowl. Which is great, because we can protect his privacy. Wow, 4 years. I hope they get a civil penalty against those people. That's insane. Miss America is now a scientist. Virginia Camille Schreier has become a scientist. Oh, how nice. It's Miss America. It's Miss America. Yeah, this is exciting for her, and I'm excited for her that she went on to become a full-on scientist in biochemistry and systems biology. Maybe she could find out if COVID-19 is caused by a virus. You're wondering what? What do you mean? Okay. She said, because we've taken the focus away from our bodies and been able to show exactly what women can offer that's outside their appearance, who demonstrated the catalytic decomposition of hydrogen peroxide for her talent portion. You know, I've been talking about the catalytic decomposition of my hydrogen peroxide in my bottle here. I use it for hand sanitizer. I think I could maybe, get into a conversation with her about that. Yeah. What do you say, dinner at 8? It's Miss America. Well, I'm glad that she got her education.
That's progressed. So my question for you is, how do you handle those who might make fun of Miss America?
We need to show that Miss America can be a scientist and that a scientist can be Miss America.
There you go. And Bill Nye the Science Guy is probably going to give her an endorsement. You never know. Well, this has been exciting. We've been totally mindless for the past, 2 hours? That's great. I just love the mindless time that we have here together. It's special. We need to show that Miss America smokes a joint now and then, that she's a real person, not she's some stuffy scientist living in her own dream world of self-isolation. We need somebody who's real and approachable, not like Bill Nye the Science Guy or her. I'm thinking we need Biba Rexa. I love watching these shows. Sometimes in the evening I'll play music from some popular singers like Biba. And she's just an amazing person. We've actually interviewed, we saw a barbecue she did the other day. Yeah, she's kind of a fun musical new startup person. I'm anxious to see any new work she's doing. She's very, very talented. Oh, sorry, sidetrack. Isn't this great? We have such technology at our disposal. You want her really bad, I know. She's your kind of gal. She'd be a little hourglass figure. Okay, thanks for sharing. A little TMI on that one. A New York PD officer beats a homeless guy on the subway. Homeless guy charged with assault. Let's take a look. Some of these really good links for Insane Canadian I play for later because, I need things to fill this time. Aside from talking about the ineptitude of our government, unable to actually count the people with COVID-19. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. The ineptitude in Donald Trump's administration, that alone says it all. That's the entire news for the night. Donald Trump and his entire administration are inept. Next.
Step off the train. You're holding up the train for everybody. Step off or I gotta drag you off. Step off or I have to drag you off. Is you holding up the train for all these people trying to go home?
Why am I holding up a train when I'm sitting on here when I'm going to Brooklyn? No, I do not grab my stuff off. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Get off of me.
Come on, just step off.
Get off of me.
Step on the train.
No.
Get off the fucking train.
Why are you fucking hitting me?
Okay, this is some very sensitive stuff here. This is black on white crime by people who are engaged in police brutality. So if some of you are part of the White Lives Matter group, you don't try to get inflamed by this behavior, okay? If you're part of the All Lives Matter group, revel in the fact that, well, the Black Lives Matter group is out to get you. If you're part of the White Guilt Matters group, then you might want to just bend over and kiss the feet of all black people and give them all $10 like Raz said. Now, if you want to continue in this violent mode of watching a black on white violence with police brutality included, you may want to just join the Nothing Matters Anymore group. Yeah. All right, let's watch it.
Down. Sit down. Hurry up. Sit down on the floor. Sit down on the floor.
He's spraying mace in his face. Look at this. Hello. Hi. Welcome to the show. I am your host. I am David Sponheim, the interactive online chatter. He was just sitting on the bus. We're going to defund the police if they don't do sensitivity training. This is another example. This guy would not pass the personality exam if I gave it to him. Yeah, he wouldn't clear the personality exam if anyone gave it to him, not just me. He wouldn't pass it. This is our rights being taken away. This homeless man has rights. Here's a piece on Black Lives Matter. Okay. Not cool to mock him being abused. I know. Video does not exist. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, we'll come back to this later. Black on white abuse, subway guy, security guard beating up a homeless white guy. Really sad. Yeah, as much as I don't want to talk about this, we do take on some pretty tough stuff in this show. So I'm going to let you get back to Sarah in the blue room, calming room, and the peaceful room. And I do believe a hat would be really cool for that with a filter on it.
I think it's growing on me.
Okay, it's growing on her.
I'm still not sure about this part.
Well, I'll show you that thing I have.
I thought that it's not.
Well, we'll get some professional pads here. It's perfectly. Yeah. I've got plenty of foam rubber.
Maybe have some shoulder pads. I don't know. But yeah.
We've got these air pads too. You know, you can put air pockets under here too.
That's a problem.
Like one air pocket under each one to make your, and then maybe another one on both sides flanking it, and an air pocket section here. Ooh, and air pockets up here too, with the filter. That'd be kind of cool. All right, using recycled material, saving our lives, filtering the air. Air filtration 101. Sarah is here. Thank you. I'm going to stop the broadcast. Okay, we got some good stuff here coming in from Scissor Fight. Wow, we got some great links coming up, so we'll be looking at that. Right off the top is because videos does not exist. Oh, it was. Yeah, that was it. A YouTube strike. Babylonians beat up a woman and her 4-year-old. Wow. And somebody lost their video on YouTube. Wow, I'll take a look at it. Of course, I can't play it because I'm recording this, but whatever. Yeah, we'll play it for you later. Yeah, this is the extended show. We have kind of brought it down to a 2-hour segment from a 4-hour segment because Sarah does not like to talk about politics that much, and I don't blame her. I enjoy having fun too, right? Yeah. Here we go again.
Here we go again.
Okay, a lot of shootings in Richmond. I'm so sorry, Virginia. Wow, a lot of people are dealing with black-on-black violence. Has been one of the worst things, you know. And if we let our cities collapse, leaving people with nothing, people will fight over whatever's left, and that's what's happening. We're being forced into a state of anarchy, as I said earlier. Hey there, please, Mr. Davidson. How did you get back in? I banned you last night. I don't know. You're tricky. Did Mark unban you? This one is going to hurt. Uh-oh. Facebook ruling. You know, I don't trust Facebook. You want that. You want a little fun, a little action, Jackson. Facebook's very deceptive. You know, Project Veritas got a backdoor interview with these guys that work the internet tech side of Facebook. And they said they openly shadow ban Trump supporters. And then Mark says, "Oh no, we don't shadow ban." No, and with his straight face and his big eyes, you know, flat out lying. No, we would never do that. Not giving the Republicans a chance to speak up is wrong. We need to give everybody a free chance in our media, and you see this completely going on everywhere. I am taking Donald Trump's side on this. I am. In fact, what happened recently on Twitch and Reddit is terrible. They blocked a lot of his transmissions. Twitch, of all things. They said they're banning him. I mean, it's like, why? You can't ban Donald Trump. Sound is out of sync. You're right. Something is going on. There's too much in the main system here. Facebook suffering legal setback as top European court strikes down US-EU data sharing pact. We're being attacked right now. Hold, please. Okay, hopefully this will help. Wow, that was wild. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, we're going to reboot this, see how it goes. So far, we're still running on full bore here. Speaking of technology, we did a little bit of work on our backbone of our computer, and yeah, there's a super fetch feature in your register that if you nullify it, it actually prevents delays in your computer's RAM. But superfetch, or it's a special feature that Microsoft doesn't tell you about. But right now our Google channel is being, it's having a hard time restarting. So we may be dealing with some malware attack. It could be these terrible people that are attacking Twitter. Oh golly. Okay, this should refresh everything. Good. You see the light popping up on my face? That's everything lighting up. Okay, I'm going to keep the video signal off on that stream. I'm going to get back to my big streams that are important here. Maybe later in the fall before I die of old age. Wow. You want to go to the Diamond Crater mine in Arkansas? They're limiting the number of visitors because of the pandemic. I heard you can get a diamond there. You can walk away with one of the diamonds you can pick up there. Some girl found like a 4 or 6 carat diamond, and she said, yeah, you can keep it. Seriously. I played the Dancing Girls on the Hour. I give you a daily entertainment value based on my program, which is designed to last hundreds of years. I am due for a modification soon. My primary system will be updated. It's a joke. I'm pretending to be a computer, a robot. Laura Ingrams came out strong. So what do the alt left do? They attack her like she's some bad person. The Atlantic, the rag sheet for the liberals, runs this story. Now, I liked Laura Ingram's discussion of masks last night. I thought, you don't have to wear a mask, and it doesn't prove that it's effective. Quite opposite of what we're being told by Dr. Fauci. That's weird. Well, this thing is not supposed to be here. Where's Laura Ingrams? I think I lost Laura Ingrams. Hang on. That's weird. Yeah, she's really being kicked off here. Yeah, this is terrible. Laura's being, beaten up. I like Fox News and Laura. I think she's doing a good job. She certainly doesn't fall for the regular news that the leftists are pushing. I love that. So here we go. Laura, Atlantic. Yeah, there it is. Here's the story. At some point, her Reaganite optimism slowly hardened into something better described as a form of apocalyptic pessimism. Not really. She's questioning the party line, the talking points of the Democrats. I love that. You don't have to mandate, nobody can mandate somebody to wear a face mask, and Laura is stepping up and saying what has to be done. God love her. Lord love Laura. Yeah, I just don't, I don't have a problem. So we will play more of Laura tonight. I've got her in the lineup. Laura Ingrams. She's a good person. Dr. Scott Jensen worked with her.
My next guest is a doctor and state senator in Minnesota who is deeply troubled by the CDC's latest guidance for counting COVID deaths. Dr. Scott Jensen joins me now. Doctor, I want to read for our viewers what the CDC says in part about how to count COVID deaths relating to that last issue we just raised. In cases where a definite diagnosis of COVID cannot be made, but is suspected or likely, like the circumstances are compelling with a reasonable degree of certainty, it is acceptable to report COVID-19 on a death certificate as probable or presumed. So, doctor, what's the problem with that?
Well, in short, it's ridiculous. I spent some time earlier today just going through the CDC's manual on how to complete death certificates and the parts that were specifically written for physicians. And in that manual, it talks of precision and specificity, and that's what we were trained with. The determination of the cause of death is a big deal. It has impact on estate planning. It has impact on future generations. And the idea that we're going to allow people to massage and sort of game the numbers is a real issue, because we're going to undermine the trust. And right now, as we see politicians doing things that aren't necessarily motivated on fact and science, the public's their trust in politicians is already wearing thin.
And doctor, in that same CDC guidance sheet on COVID-19, it references the fact that basically this is a judgment call for doctors on how to fit, I read it, what goes on line 1, and then what goes on line 2, and what goes on the final line as far as contributing factors and ultimate cause of death. But they concede that it is a judgment call. Again, why is that not correct?
Well, let's just take influenza. If I have a patient who died a month ago, had fever, cough, and died after 3 days, and maybe had been an elderly, fragile individual, and there happened to be an influenza epidemic around our community, I wouldn't put influenza on the death certificate, and I've never been encouraged to do so. I would put probably respiratory, and the underlying cause of disease would be pneumonia, and in the contributing factors, I might well put emphysema or congestive heart failure. But I would never put influenza down as the underlying cause of death, and yet that's what we're being asked to do here.
Dr. Fauci was asked about the COVID death count today. Here's what he said in part.
What do you say to those folks who are making the claim without really any evidence that these deaths are being padded, that the number of COVID-19 deaths are being padded?
You will always have conspiracy theories when you have very challenging public health crises. They are nothing but distractions.
Conspiracy theories, doctor? So you're engaging in conspiracy theories. What do you say to Dr. Fauci tonight?
Well, I would remind him that anytime healthcare intersects with dollars, it gets awkward. Right now, Medicare has determined that if you have a COVID-19 admission to the hospital, you'll get paid $13,000. If that COVID-19 patient goes on a ventilator, you get $39,000, 3 times as much. Nobody can tell me after 35 years in the world of medicine that sometimes those kinds of things impact on what we do. Some physicians really have a bent towards public health, and they will put down influenza or whatever because that's their preference. I try to stay very specific, very precise. If I know I've got pneumonia, that's what's going on, the death certificate. I'm not.
Dr. Jensen, aka Senator Jensen, thank you. Awesome. And that's Laura Ingrams. That's why I like her. Now, I could play her video about how she just doesn't see the point of masks. I agree with her. Now, I'm wearing masks because I don't want smart dust. But you guys who don't believe that they're spraying smart dust on you haven't really investigated this, apparently. So I don't like smart dust. So whether I can stop a virus or not, well, I don't mind complying with the law, especially if it means cleaner air, but it is restricting my airflow, and I'm a little concerned about that. It's not that she's not smart, it's that she's an average American on the right who has a solid common sense. I get that from her. I get the common sense factor from Laura. She's not the brightest in the world, and nobody really can say anybody at Fox is. I mean, seriously, except Judge Napolitano. I like him a lot. But seriously, the best and the brightest they got rid of. You know, there was a gay guy that was on there that he was smart. smart as a whip, but he left. You probably remember him. We can't talk about him. Yeah. Anyway, I would normally not say she's great, but she is. Just like Amazing Polly, even though she's so hook, line, and sinker in favor of Trump, even though Trump has never stopped any part of the child trafficking problem, she still defends him. And I have to wade through that with Amazing Polly to get really good information, like the recent info about Wayfair not actually charging for shipping to their customers, and Wayfair not even getting a commission on the sale of the product. I mean, what business can work like that? So she's asking some really important questions. So I like her work. I just don't agree with her on Trump. Abandoned skyscraper hotel, found penthouse with power still on. Are you serious? That's interesting.
See the video's logo right here?
Oh, you got an ad. I'm getting a lot of ads now on YouTube. I'll wade through that. I'll put it through the list. Excellent, thank you. Hard to say what that's going to look like, but an abandoned hotel that's got the power on. Soup skyscraper. Well, that's the point. Any of this child sex or endangerment and all that stuff, for a lot of people, it's taboo to even talk about it. But you see, when good people do nothing, evil persists. So Armand Bundy and some other concerned citizens confronted a commission who was going to pass a mask mandate. So they canceled the meeting. Excellent. The Bundys have done a great job fighting for our rights, and that was in Idaho. Folks, there is no ability that these people can force us to wear masks. That's a violation of the Nuremberg Code. You can't do that. We're not Nazi prisoners. The Nuremberg Code was set up to stop that in America. So anyone mandating a mask is in violation of the Nuremberg Code. As president, I would have arrested at least 2 or 3 governors by now. I would have gladly put them in jail. And I would have told everyone that their lieutenant governors are doing their job in every state level. We're not going to worry about your governance at your state level, but your governors cannot say that. They cannot order you to wear a mask. A business can do that. Sure, a business can say, yeah, you got to wear a tutu. Yeah, a business could say, yeah, you have to wear a tutu to go in there, and they'll give you a rented tutu to go in there. A business can say whatever they want. Is that perfectly okay to wear a tutu to go? You just don't go to the business. You just go to another business that has a similar venue. It's the free enterprise system. Go to the place that doesn't require a tutu, whatever a tutu is. Have you seen tutus? Well, what if they said to all of you, including you, manly man, what if you had to wear one of these things everywhere you go? Well, you got to wear your mask and you got to wear your tutu too. Now, I'm not showing anything indecent, just a tutu, okay? Don't freak. But yeah, that's as completely absurd as wearing a mask, which doesn't prevent you from having fear. You're not wearing my fear. Exactly. And the Democrats want to export their fear like the narcissists that they are. They want us all to become overly concerned about everything. And if we aren't COVID tested, we're not safe. No, if you're not presenting with any symptoms, why would you COVID test? That's stupid. In fact, the whole COVID test is stupid. 80% inaccurate. No gold standard for testing if we have COVID-19. Our country's been lied to on a daily basis by these scumbags at the CDC and other agencies. Now Donald Trump is using the Health and Human Services. I don't know if those people are legitimate. You don't get out of business can force you to wear a mask, but can't make some gay people a cake. It comes under the heading of sexual discrimination. Yeah. But as far as treating everyone equally, if you said that everyone had to wear a tutu and you didn't get any business as a result of it, yeah, no shoes, no tutu, no service. Okay. Get your tutus for rent at the front door. Wearing thongs, yeah, exactly. So if you had a requirement to go in there in thongs without any pants on, that would be a form of mind control. Well, yeah, I'm not here to to prevent people from, if you treated people differently, that's where they get you. That's where discrimination comes in. But if you treat everyone the same way, you all have to wear a gas mask to come into a residence or a business. Well, okay, that place just won't get any business. Oh, well, that's the free market making its decision. Yes, businesses can mandate people to wear masks. Absolutely. You just don't go in there. And if you have a problem, you know where the door is, ma'am. I'm not leaving. Well, then we'll call the cops on you. And yeah, that happened recently at a Trader Joe's in Palos Verdes. A super strong Trump supporter, I mean, really Miss Twitter of America for Trump. She's really out there. I actually followed her on Twitter. But she actually went into Palos Verdes Trader Joe's and without a mask on, and they freaked. They got the police on the phone. She put them on camera. She did a good job. But she was telling them, you can't do that. But theoretically, any business can tell anybody what they should be wearing to go in that business. That's part of their freedom. But now if you're hiring a transgender and you ask them, you seem like a transgender. Are you a transgender? And they say, yes, I'm a transgender. You could be charged with discrimination if you don't hire them. They could say, you didn't hire me because I'm a transgender. And I'm not a transgender, just so you know. I know, he's starting to run off at the mouth. We're not going to think about the Raging Mason right now. Guess 151. I'm going to pass on the Raging Mason. He's off the deep end. Well, I'm just saying, if you don't want to have people in your business who are transgender, don't ask them, are you transgender? Just say, oh, I see you have qualifications. Oh, well, that's good. You've worked in the health and healthcare industry? Oh, really? You were a towel boy in a whorehouse? Wow, okay, thank you. Good to know. You're not a boy. You're a girl. Well, I don't need to know this stuff. Thank you. Now, if a person walks up and openly says they're a transgender, then you're kind of at a cross point. What if they go there as a hetero and then find out when you hire them they're totally a transgender? You got to keep them according to, the Supreme Court and Mr. Gorsuch. Gorsuch made that rule move in the favor of the transgenders. I don't believe that the Supreme Court has ever rewritten a Civil Rights Act before, but somehow judging people based on sexuality has now come under the gender preference point. It's all about interpretation, unfortunately. And they believe that your gender preference is your sexuality. So that's what they believe. I just don't agree with them. I believe that my Human Rights Amendment will actually spearhead a brand new reckoning about who people are. Well, I think men and women should get the same exact pay for their job. I believe that we could have accomplished that back with the ERA, the Equal Rights Amendment. The Raging Mason, yeah. So I loaded up my third eye and I put it on and I said, we are just dealing with a tremendous attack on our freedoms right now. We are just not in any way getting our freedom met. So that's when I created the Human Rights Amendment. Oh, does the third eye bother you? I'm sorry. Yeah, we have to reassert our freedoms. So let me sketch this out for you. Oh, sorry, I've got something other things going on. The Human Rights Amendment will basically get people, men and women. This is not related to this right now. This is separate. But men and women will have equal rights, equal pay. And you'll either fit into the category of a man or a woman. And you can change that category because it's all equal. You can flip. You could become a man and then a woman, theoretically, if you want. But there's not going to be a room in the Human Rights Amendment for transgenderism. Sorry. But what I do want to make everyone know is that there's no reason in the world why anyone would get forced vaccinated or forced COVID tested. It is a violation of the Nuremberg Code. It's a violation of the Hippocratic Oath for doctors to force anything on you without your consent. It's a violation of the Obamacare consent laws. So we already have laws that'll bring the Human Rights Amendment together, but when it's all articulated at the same time and we can get 38 states to agree, constitutional court, basically a constitutional convention of governors could actually get this to pass. Okay, meanwhile, we're offering something different than the Democrats. We take on the tough questions of the environment. You know, I promote more paper sacks, for instance. I'd like to see plastics disappear completely. I don't know about you, but even if it costs a little bit extra money for paper, it uses a recyclable and a renewable industry that can biomass, compost, etc. So plastic doesn't have a lifespan that we want to wait 2,000 years for plastic bags to break down. So we're kind of in the wrong track with all the plastic waste the Democrats are allowing and the Republicans. Oh, you're waiting for your 2,000 Bitcoins from Bill Gates? Seriously? Well, it looks like you're going to have to contact Twitter because they may have to cover your losses. It turns out Twitter didn't keep the passwords safe, and they have a civil liability for the money you may have lost on your Bitcoins. Yeah, you may want to ask an attorney. I'm not an attorney, but seriously. Yeah, you lost 1,000 Bitcoins. Unbelievable. You're like way deep in debt now. Oh, yeah. You were told you're getting your investment plus back. I know. Guess 1714 has been stung by the recent attack on Twitter. I'm so sorry that happened for you. But never buy a pig in a poke and never believe something is 2 for 1. Yeah, you should contact Twitter. You must be very upset. He wants to loot now. He lost all these Bitcoins. Now he wants to loot. Jeez. You wouldn't want to go to a casino. They'd probably kick you out. The scammer only made $150,000 off that Twitter attack. Not really that much. Well, that's good to know. Thank you, Google You. Have you secured the website, Google You? I'm checking. Okay. According to a website checker, independent website checker, Google You is not available. Why not try one of these many alternatives? Thinking. Wow, it's really thinking, man. This is like one of the longest AI system thought processes I've ever seen. It can't come up with an alternative. Look at that. We crashed it. I am thinking. I am thinking. Yeah, apparently there is no other alternative. Google You. Okay, it's come up with a false positive. I'm sorry. That website is COVID positive. You have that effect on AI? I guess you are, Google You. If you haven't secured that domain name, I'm sure you better do it soon because there's something going on with that domain name right now in real time. Yeah, they want to get rid of coins claiming we're running out. They just stopped printing them at the mint because no one wants to be near each other. Now they're going to get rid of paper currency. If we don't build this third party, these New World Order puppets are going to try to create digital currency. Now, I have a better idea. We could come up with a new denomination of currency. Not a nude denomination. Like we won't pose nude people on the outside. But a new denomination of currency. Printed out of paper bags, recycled paper bags. Anyway, getting back to air filtration, water filtration, and homesteading, you're probably wondering what that's all about and why would we do such a thing? Because if we don't, we're screwed. That's why. Yeah, if we don't come up with new ideas to save the country, we basically are, we'll be looking for a new place. I got to get a background for this page. Here we go. Background for page. Accessing file. Backgrounds. High tech. Yeah, that'd be cool. Well, the only way we can generate employment and a rise in employment is to actually get behind technologies that other people will like. Ergo, things like water filtration and air filtration. So we will see a renaissance of sorts with that. We'll also see a benefit if we legalize marijuana. Now, Biden will not legalize marijuana, and neither will Trump. Bear in mind, that's a big factor. If we don't legalize marijuana, we may very well, face a situation where there's conflict at the state levels. So this is another big part of what I'm talking about. So building houses for people, homestead renewal plan, giving people an opportunity to fix up houses and make $15 an hour. Building water filters for communities that will actually be successful. We can import them and export them, like the Flint, Michigan area, which still doesn't have decent water filtration. And building air filtration systems that can be exported worldwide. Now, I don't talk about ideas and inventions that much, but one of the ideas I've pitched other people on in the past is the concept of portable air filtration. And now more than ever, I think it's going to become more of a big demand. Yeah. So in theory, you could be wearing a hat that has an air filter system built into it. Yeah, I'd like to stop rent. We're going to have to do a moratorium on rent, Guest 714. Truly. And you guys should own your own homestead or your own tiny house, many of you. Or in your case, your own tiny crypt where your homies can hang. And it'd be cool. It'd be slick. Give me $15 for the motor, and it'd be slick. The shirt for collateral, it'd be slick. You just get your 6-month stay of eviction. It's available at your local county. Ask for the 6-month stay of eviction. That should buy you 6 months' time until you move into a trailer. What area you live? I mean, you can find you a trailer right now for next to nothing.
Get it?
Asian dragon fruit farming and harvest. That sounds exciting. You're in the KC area? Okay. Let's boogie on over to Kansas City. Hi, Tiddly D, welcome. Get your boogie on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and check out my favorite place to go traveling online for trailers is Craigslist. Yeah, there's a place 80 miles away from you for $17,000, 2 acres that you could put a trailer on. Seriously, it's west of Kansas City. Okay, I'm going to go to my Craigslist, open it up. This is the best technology, I think, online tours of the internet. If you haven't used Craigslist as a way of, doing something when you're bored, it's fun. I'm telling you, I've really enjoyed this technology. And here I am going in on the Kansas City area, Missouri. Now, luckily, Missouri has the legalization now, 6 plants I guess you can get. You can grow your own, which is kind of cool if you're, wanting to find a place to grow something for your own use, of course. But yeah, trailers. Well, let's go to real estate just for the heck of it. I'm just curious. Let's put it in the lowest first category with the arrow going up. A lot of these are rentals. Yeah, in your area, Kansas City, rentals are pretty popular. Huh. Land. Civil War lot. Look at that. It's an actual Civil War lot for $2,750. A small lot in a documented Civil War battlefield located in Baxter Springs, Kansas. In October of 1863, Quantrill's forces attacked Fort Blair, located in Baxter Springs, Kansas. This lot is located at the same city block as the Kansas Fort Blair site. The lot measures 50 by 142, and the creek bed site situated in the Fort Blair area. Value is in the historic nature of the lot. The lot was later known as the site of the Hanging Tree in Baxter Springs. Rare opportunity to own a piece of history. Only $2,750. Look at that. There's nothing saying you can't park there, right? Okay, so you got $2,750. You go, okay. Here's the land. Yeah, this is it right now. Baxter Springs, Kansas. Okay, you got that link right. I'm giving you a little tip here. He's got a little problem with eviction going on. Okay, that's $2,750 schmoozles. And then you go back here and you go back to look for a trailer to put it on. to put on that land. Cool haunted land. Yeah, isn't that cool? Do you want the link over here? Go for it. Okay, so then we go back to our, our main site. Trailers. Yeah. We should do trailers for sale tonight. Roger Miller. King of the road. Okay, there's a lot of stuff here that doesn't quite match, but you can plant dragon fruit over all of it. There you go. You're really into dragon fruit, aren't you? You're a dragon fruit aficionado. Yeah, you can't really live in a wagon. Ooh, pop-up trailer, 150 bucks. Wow, look at that. Who would have known? But no, you're looking at maybe getting something with metal around it. That's your best bet. Don't buy the fiberglass jobs because metal gives you protection. It gives you like a Faraday cage. So like, well, you wouldn't want to live in a toolbox. That's pretty cheap for a trailer. You'd be surprised what you find here. I'll check Riverside, California in just a bit. Don't fall for this. This is a casita that would normally cost $8,000. There's no way they're charging that. Want to rent your motorhome? No. Trailer. Takes a while to get there. Dutchman camper. No. Really? Here it is. Your next home. Away from home. Look at that. That's decent. Well, if that's a real deal, that's a pretty good deal for $1,200. I don't believe it's real. Yeah, that's just BS. Yeah, this is the same ad. It's just the same kind of BS ad. It's more like they're fishing for your email address. No. You wouldn't get a trailer that cheap. Sorry. Scam. These are all outdoor trailers you could customize. Okay, we're moving on. Yeah, you got to get through the scams until you get some good stuff here. It's time consuming, yeah. Especially in Kansas City, there's a lot of low-end trailers here. Yeah. Until you get to about $3,000, you're not going to find anything. We're getting close. Wow. Well, they sure sell the utility trailers out there. This is Utility Central, man. You can get some cheap trailers for $3,000, really nice trailers to put your stuff in. And I've seen people customize these utility trailers. It's possible. They are all metal. They're pretty good. $3,779. You can do better. Wow. We're looking at no trailers here. A Silver Streak trailer from 1960 that's a project for $4,000. That's pretty interesting. But it's kind of a mess, too. You want something move-in ready. But wouldn't that be a classic thing to put on the Civil War lot? Yeah, no inside pictures means it's trashed. Yeah, it's probably got mildew and dry rot. David, would you buy my new mask? I will check. I'm trying to get a good deal here. He's out $2,750 for that Civil War lot. Wow, that looks pretty intense. So this is the new look, folks. You have that feeling of frustration living in a socially distant world. It's time to freak out with the premium cloth mask from Pozo. Thanks, Pozo. That's pretty funny. It's almost like a Halloween mask with vampire look. You know, I'm sure that's going to be the next thing, the next craze. Well, now this is a real Sprinter camper van. Now, if you can get a truck to tow this to the lot, it's got a slide out in it. That's a pretty decent deal for $4,750. So you got a full bedroom, beautiful bathroom with a nice bathtub, walk-in closets practically, walk in the back room. Look at that bed. That's like brand new. Look at the angles there. I mean, you got a real home here. Isn't that special? You and the missus in the Sprinter. So there's your deal. That's your best deal. That and the other lot, total cost under $7,000. There you go. Thank you. Good luck. Okay, now that we wasted our time doing that, let's talk about Asian dragon fruit farming and harvest.
A real-time bird's eye view of your projects. Create project plan.
Noel Farm. Hi.
No, nice to see you in this video from Noel Farm.
Okay, so we'll be looking at Asian dragon fruit farming tonight. A big cash award business for many of you people living in Hawaii and other subtropical climates. And the other skyscraper hotel show. That'll be in the lineup. Thank you. Now let's get to something that matters. According to this BS statistic, the number of known cases is doubling about every month. Okay, sure. So we're supposed to believe that when the Florida stats are all BS? Come on. Who you kidding? Boy, they really have this line to, oh, we had 70,000 new cases today. Boy, they got everybody believing it, don't they? No proof whatsoever, and more than enough that they're faking the stats left and right. Our country is literally ignoring its people and all the truth that's prevailing on the internet. Moonrec has a story. The Army is building an anti-gravity water purifying solar panel. That's exciting. Wow. Now that's a technology link we need to look at. Somebody else running a similar show to mine. Looks exactly like me, too. It's weird. Hallelujah. I had the pleasure of eating one of those bean burritos with beef and bean burrito today. And I put some really hot, spicy mustard. It's mustard that was carefully managed with spices. And I thought it was incredible. Yeah. It has to have something, though, to give it that extra oomph. Otherwise, it's just bland as hell. The Army's building an anti-gravity, anti-water purifying. It's from where? It's from the cistern. The water. The new solar water purifier uses laser-treated aluminum sheets to rapidly absorb and heat water. Solar-powered purifiers are a major research interest for scientists who study cutting-edge materials. It solves two major structural problems with solar purifiers. The aluminum panel works against gravity by drawing water up through the microcapillary system, almost like a synthetic tree. From there, solar energy warms the water into evaporating steam, leaving impurities behind. The panel can be mounted at any angle to catch the most sun anywhere in the world. Wow, this is exciting. This would be perfect in the solar pipeline. We could integrate this technology, yeah. That's awesome. Aluminum isn't especially light or water absorbing, but it's cheap and plentiful with low cost availability. Well, with a combined black water bottom and evaporation that my solar panel, or rather my ocean pipeline thing will have, we could use these on the sides. You see, I developed an ocean pipeline project. If you go to oceanpipeline.com, you'll see a link to our website. We don't really have it up yet, but we had a website which had for a while this entire story, which was hacked. Yeah, we had a hacking job on our ocean pipeline project. But yeah, this site, this idea is using desalination in small modules, containers, if you will. We let the hot sun bake into the translucent sides and heat it up to 150 degrees, and it evaporates on the inside of the walls of the dome, creating fresh water. It's pretty cool. Yes, Ilhan Omar paid her new husband $1 million for consulting in the new election cycle. Yeah. Boy, isn't she the greedy Muslim woman? Yeah. And then she married her brother prior to give him U.S. citizenship. She needs to be arrested. Ask yourself why Donald Trump has not arrested Ilhan Omar, and that answer will be because Donald Trump is part of the deep state. He can't do anything. He's useless. Yeah, so the guy got $1 million for consulting with Ilhan Omar, his wife. Well, that's really good news about that. Yeah, I'm going to put that in my good technology section on my Flipboard. Yeah, some 55-gallon plastic drums in the ocean where a hurricane comes. Yeah. Well, we're not going to do it in the ocean. We're going to do it outside with strong polycarbonate, wind-resistant domes. The concept is to do it away from the ocean, inland, not on the ocean. And we can build a grid, a matrix. Did you say the matrix? Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson. We will create a matrix of water purifiers, Mr. Anderson, to clean the seawater of the salt. Mr. Anderson. Yeah, so the idea is to actually get these things all over the landscape. Areas like southern central California would be ideal. I'm putting this in technology. No, environment. It's got to go in environment. There it is. Got it. Okay, thank you. Yeah, and we will fight algae. We will fight algae. We have the cationic system with the ozonation, which ozonation works as a technology that can eliminate anything that crosses the pathway of the oxygen molecules, breaks up any potential algae. See, algae forms cells, just like viruses have cell walls, and soap breaks up virus cell walls. Well, cationic converters and ozonators can break up the cell walls of algae, making them pretty much non-existent in these types of areas without using chlorine. Feels bad, man? No worries. I read it. I won't respond to it. Guess 714 said Trump's a goddamn moron. Trump's a goddamn moron. What do you mean by that, 714? Yeah, we're trying to understand what you're saying. You don't speak English very well. Pointing the gun at those protesters would put those people in high alert. You're talking about those guys? Okay, he meant that. Okay. Those two people, Ken and Karen, for lack of a better name, they're perfectly legal to, I understand. They're perfectly legal to hold their gun out in front of their residence. And she cannot, no one can prove she was pointing it at the protesters. You'd have to have telemetry data to find out if she's actually aiming it at the protesters. So she had every right to hold her gun and his AR-15 out in front of their house. How do you think they avoided being attacked? Anyway, this whole concept could be easily implemented in areas like the desert. As long as we can get a pipeline from the ocean to the desert using solar power and wind power pumps. You saw images of her mustard stained t-shirt aiming at the protesters. Well, you know, can you prove that in a court of law? Because unless you have absolute proof that she was aiming at the protesters, I don't think she should get any charges. What about that woman that was accosted in the parking lot by a couple of black women, this white woman who was pregnant? She stands to get 4 years for holding a gun on two black women that were accosting her car and trying to carjack her. Yeah, a good attorney is going to get her off. You need to explain the existence of viruses? No, I believe viruses do exist, even biologically altered viruses like these bioengineered COVID-19 series. There's over 110 variants of the COVID-19. You will never be able to create a vaccine for it. It's mutating faster than any human can possibly keep up with. The primary goal of COVID-19 is to scare the living daylights out of you, not to kill you. It's only to make you all like mass prisoners in a sleep state, unaware that you're actually being programmed to be prisoners of war. Yeah, right now you're being programmed to be tortured prisoners of war, and you think you're saving yourself with a mask. Yeah, it does prevent smart dust from entering your lungs. Hey, COVID-19, what's going on? You're an alien from another vehicle. COVID-19 was engineered in 2003. It was transferred to Hanoi from Paris. and from there went on to the Wuhan laboratories in 2015. The people involved were the Bat Lady, who is no longer seen on this planet, disappeared completely. China got rid of her. Bill Gates, the Pirbright Institute were involved in the original formation, along with what appears to be the French Mossad and the Chinese government. So I'm not really sure exactly who to point the finger at, but I know it's not China per se. I'm more than willing to point a finger, though, but something our president's not willing to do. I have very long fingers, very large fingers. As you can see, I've been working in the yard. Well, you need to stay busy. Keep your hands moving in this world. I dig in the soil to feel good. That's one of the reasons why I'd like all of you to have a beautiful home, which I can tell you has given me a tremendous feeling of comfort in this time of need. And if I didn't inherit this home, I really would be living on a piece of property out in the middle of Kansas on an old Civil War site. And I would have spent no more than $7,000 on the trailer and the land. I mean, I just showed you how you could do that for $7 grand. So be aware that anything's possible. This is the old coronavirus room I have over here. This is a history of what happened with flus over the years. As you can see, almost every year they've been pushing some BS flu story on us. And it's the opposite of what Einstein said. People who are doing the same thing, expecting different results, are usually insane. Well, we could expect this group of people who are trying to kill off the population to be insane. So in a way, they are doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So in a way, it's true. Einstein was right. But it is insane to think that you could keep pushing some major problem on the American people and expect different results each time. But that's exactly what they've been doing. And 10 years ago, they had the swine flu. And you see in 2010, 2011, let's see, 2009, swine flu is going to kill us all. See that? There's a 170-page document I have of a group of people that sued Barack Obama and Dr. Fauci and the CDC over the swine flu, and they claim that there was a conspiracy to push the swine flu on us, and it killed 600,000 people. So there's very strong belief that these attenuated viruses are purposely being designed to kill off the population, and they keep pushing this on us every time, and now they got us all wearing masks like a bunch of scared rabbits. Sarah's Meals came out great, Bob, but I recommend putting like some sort of a hot sauce on it, or like a white sauce or something, like a ranch dressing or taco sauce, or they really could be eaten with anything and they'd still come in under a salt ratio. So our goal was to actually make something tasty, healthy, and low salt. We found that there were no low salt items really to speak of in the frozen section at the market. I can't even eat frozen food because it is too salty for me. Yeah, my father was salt sensitive and I'm salt sensitive, so I know the drill, how to avoid salt just to keep myself living longer, you know. Jag says my house just burned down a week ago. I just settled with my ins and bought a new home, but this time it's not easy. Trust me. Yeah, Jag, wow. Thanks for your personal testimony, man. That sounds pretty horrific what you've been going through, and your in-laws have been decent to help you get through this. House burned down a week ago. Wow. Sarah just saw a house right near where her school is that had a fire. I said, look at that, Sarah. It's like the whole 2-story building was completely burned up. It was not some BLM attack, was it? Oh yeah, I mean, if we had poured ketchup on it, it would be great. It'd actually be fine. I mean, taco sauce, whatever. But it definitely, I put mustard sauce on it, hot mustard sauce. It was really good. But it's the kind of thing you can throw into a microwave and, you know, you got your dinner. So these attempts to push this agenda upon us have really kind of been, you know, an ongoing thing. And every year they come up with new and ridiculous things. Ebola, Corona, Datura, Election year organisms, yeah, that's a good question. Why are they all appearing during the election year? MERS 2010, yeah. 2012 had Ebola. 2014 had Zika virus, remember that? 2016 had Ebola again. And 2018 had coronavirus. 2020 is now an election year. We're seeing a blowout of corona, COVID-19. So these comparisons show you the underlying plot behind the elites trying to push this agenda of forced vaccination. Now, as you know, I don't trust the vaccines. They're full of potential dangerous things. They have embryonic kidney cells in them. You're fed up? I know. We're all fed up. It has embryonic kidney cells in them, embryonic lung cells of aborted fetuses in it, in the vaccines. Vaccine safety is pretty much out the door, you know. The weird origin of this Wuhan virus really has all the earmarks of Dr. Fauci. He gave $3.7 million to the Wuhan Virology Clinic when he was working for Barack Obama. It looks like they funded the start of this bioweapon then. The people pushing the vaccinations are clearly the ones pushing for this agenda. They're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So technically, historically, the number of problems with childhood autism have increased dramatically over the many years that they've added the number of vaccines to the child's daily or early childhood development. Yeah. So here the autism rate was 1 in 10,000 in 1983, and 2008 it was 1 in 150. That's huge. And that's when 36 vaccines were given to U.S. babies in 2008. In 2013, 46 vaccines were given to U.S. babies. The autism rate increased to 1 in 88. By 2030, 85% of your children will have autism or ADHD. 85%, that's 8.5 out of 10 kids will have some sort of debilitating disease. If this isn't the cause, what is? And you know, the Vax group finally said flat out to the technologists at the big pharma Rockefeller-run CDC, the Vax group said, hey, can you prove that autism is not caused by vaccinations? And they couldn't. So they sued them. And the CDC had to admit in court that they could not prove that autism is not caused by vaccinations. So theoretically, it could be caused by vaccinations. Yeah. That's right. 2 negatives makes a positive. So realization of what's going on behind the scenes really is the people behind the big pharma organizations. The people behind the big pharma organizations really boil down to the early vaccinators. And that would be the Rockefeller Foundation, who killed off 100 million people in 1918 by spreading the Spanish flu with tainted 35 strains of tainted vaccinations with hepatitis, or actually influenza B. This man, the de facto leader of Ghana, has got a testimony about the Rockefeller Foundation. He says is a plot that's growing and in size and has a lot of different plans ahead of us. And he's revealed this over the air. I can't play it on YouTube or they'll ban me on the show, but I will play this again tonight. It's an important piece by this man who's breaking out of the... Remember, a lot of these African leaders have been approached by Bill Gates with bribes. The Nigerian president was bribed with $10 million by Bill Gates, he said, and in order to vaccinate the Nigerian children, and he said no, he would not do that. He would not take the $10 million. This is the Ghana president making a similar assertion. So a lot of these people who are in the worst countries who've battled this maniac Bill Gates for so many years, he keeps pushing vaccines on people. It's like he can't stop it. Well, if the audio recording is someone other than the president of Ghana, could you prove that to me? Thank you. In the meantime, we'll listen to it anyway. All right, so we got that going for us, which is nice. We've got the added thrill of the 5G nightmare, which is potentially going to be a huge problem for children. Kids are the most vulnerable to the 5G radiation affecting the DNA. It's not necessarily your body developing tumors right away. It's the fact that it intercepts the signals in the brain and causes a tremendous amount of field radiation pulsing at your brain, which could lead to tumors. It could contribute to brain cancer. That could also explain why brain cancer is the #1 killer of children now among cancers. Kids around cell phones. This is serious stuff. Our government is not testing 5G for safety. I would think that would be a red flag right now, and everyone would be going, what? You're kidding me, really? No, I remind people every day that this is what's happening. Redondo, what's going on? My hometown. Here's a view of the South Redondo Pier. Cool, I remember this pier. Are you making me homesick? There's 13 people watching. What are we looking at here? Aliens from Huntington Beach? You got a 30-day ban on Facebook for saying that Arbeit macht frei, which is what Hitler said to the Jewish people in the death camps. Wow. That's a trip. And here Facebook says they don't ban anybody. Well, people think their phones are safe. I must tell you that our president should have actually had a public service announcement. I would have, as president. I will tell everyone that you cannot hold your phone next to your head without risking your life. Everybody and every kid in America and the world should be told to hold your phone at arm's length with a speaker on. Otherwise, you could be veritably altering your DNA in your face, in your body, in your mind. You're traveling through another dimension, the dimension of 5G radiation. A wonderful world of that of your imagination. The ability to control your mind through your monitor. That's another layer of 5G that we don't understand. They have patents to control monitors as a way of hypnotizing us. I'd love to talk about that technology, but it's so freaky, it's not even worth your time. But if 5G is fully implemented in our school system, it's very likely they're going to be listening to your children. They already are in the various other countries like China. They listen to the children to see and watch the children to see if they're thinking. I mean, this is like wild stuff. But the very fact that they're putting this around kids' reproductive organs is the real clincher here. The real clincher is if kids get around this network without safety checks and Faraday cages and shields that can protect them, and that's technology I'm recommending with my 5G Plus network. But without that kind of safety preparedness, kids could veritably lose the ability to have children, thereby fulfilling the Agenda 2030 plan of total, utter annihilation of the human race. Not that that's their plan. They just want to reduce the population, but they're playing with God. And these attempts to mess with us is just their way of doing it. And now, a relaxing moment with cowbell. Wasn't that peaceful? That's what cowbell gets you. Gets you that calming, peaceful feeling. Won't you be my neighbor? Hey, neighbor. So when I first started this room, the Corona Room, I had a couple of questions that I asked people. And it was just like, number one, is this all a hoax? And I think by now everyone knows that you probably met somebody who had the disease somewhere, or maybe knew somebody who knew somebody who has the disease, so it's not all a hoax. Is it a standard flu? Yes, it is. It is. So there's nothing to worry about there. Is it a dangerous bioweapon? Yes, it is. It is. It's kind of a hoax in a way because they're trying to create fear. It's kind of a standard flu too. Because it's not really, the numbers are not that bad. In fact, literally 60% to 40%, 60% of people are dying of H1N1 right now, like they normally do. So they're creating this really weird situation where some people are dying, and they're padding the statistics to make it look like the worst thing on earth. So that's the hoax part. The fact that it's like a standard flu is the reality. It really is. But is it a dangerous bioweapon? Yeah, it could be. In fact, it could morph and mutate into many different variations, making it not something we could ever get a vaccine for. And fourth, are we seeing people suffering from 5G radiation poisoning? Because it very likely could be 5G radiation poisoning. It's very similar. The symptomology is very similar. Dry cough, inability to breathe oxygen and metabolize oxygen. A redness around certain parts of your body, a Kawasaki syndrome like kids are getting. So it looks very much like it could be all of the above. Yeah, it's not like one or the other. It's like boom, boom, boom. All right, I think we're good there. Let's take it to another room. Right. Well, they want to get rid of people. That's the primary directive. That's what the Agenda 2030 is all about. Whoa. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, we're back. 5G radiation has been going up all around the country, and I'm going to show you maps of the 5G radiation solutions that are out there. Here's the confirmed cases at this point. This is in the early stages, about 2 months into the flu spread. I'm going to move government planned anarchy for a while. Say goodbye to that. That's part of the PSYOPs. This is the flare-up across the country. Areas in red are the areas that started developing COVID-19. You'll notice that hardly any African nations were affected. Yeah, you'll notice that yeah, hang on. This is also very similar to the map below it, which is the 5G radiation penetration. These are statistics of areas that are receiving 5G radiation installations. America's one of the top 5G installs. Wuhan, China, one of the biggest number of COVID cases also affected. And you look at the map for 5G penetration there, Wuhan, China. You notice how Greenland does not have any 5G at all? Greenland does not have any COVID-19 cases. At least it didn't up to this time period. You notice how India has a small amount of COVID-19, but claimed to have installed 5G in the area? I don't know. Your guess is it could be just so many electric wires affected it in a negative way, but really there is a correlation. And when I look at the statistics recently of an outbreak in Phoenix and Dallas, it turns out Phoenix and Dallas both went live with 5G on Verizon just 2 months ago. So those two cities are actually very active with 5G. South Carolina, 2 kids just came down with serious COVID symptoms, happened to be in an area that just had 5G installed recently in the past month and a half. So is there a correlation? Without study, we don't know. But are we going to sit back and accept the possibility that they're going to put 5G radiation systems into our neighborhoods without even safety testing them? Are you okay with that? 5G has great potential, but we've got to put limiters on it and prevent it from being dangerous to the human population. 5G has been known to have a technology that was used in the military for weapons, microwave weapons. They use the same technology that 5G is, creating pencil beam technology. Pencil beam technology can triangulate a location of a certain object and then fry it, burn it. We could kill anybody within the range of 2 beams. Why would we want to put that into our area without safeguards? Yeah, so your Second Amendment could be taken away. It could totally nullify your ability to defend yourself. And America may just be the land of the graves, not the land of the brave. This will be the future for America if we allow it. Now, because you don't want to take any effort to create this third party, I'm here every night on my own asking for support, and you just, you're watching and you're going, yeah, okay. Well, that's not going to cut it per se, but at least you're here watching. I appreciate that. They've got other new technologies that are being put up in every city. This is some brand new 5G repeater that's been put up every 300 feet, and I have yet to figure out what it is. They're all over the highways across the country. I'm not sure. Are they lights or are they 5G transmitters? We don't know. And they're in every city now. They've been put in really, really recently. Hey, yeah, you and Super Dave are here? Cool. Okay. Well, let's be clear. Okay, we got some other links from Scissor Fight. I'm going to bring those in now. Thank you, Scissor Fight. Good. Yeah, I know they believe it is a solar-powered LED light post. I know, you believe that. I see transmitters, and I've seen breakdowns of what they're doing in the same area of investment in England. One of the electricians in England opened one up, and they found 450-volt capacitors leading to a 5G transmitter in every one of them. So you can say they're a solar-powered LED light. I mean, if you want to have your brain in the gutter and not even have a clue, sure. It's all just a simple thing. Yeah, McAfee's into some weird stuff. John McAfee, rather. Yeah, McAfee's an interesting character, though. He's tuned in to what's happening with radiation and field radiation. I'm not standing here endorsing McAfee, but he is a pretty smart guy, I must admit. He may be nuts in his own way, but I think he's got his own perspectives that we need to look and analyze his unique view of the world. Hybrid Capitalism is a book Sarah and I wrote in 2012, which still has very good ideas to fix the country with brand new technologies. One of the ideas is a windmill idea that I came up with in 2009. This idea could very well be put in every single city in America, on every pole in America. There's over 100 million poles across the country. Yeah, it's a lot of jobs too. So that's way more jobs than we could ever imagine anyone even doing. So building these Savonius windmills, which is a type of windmill that we could actually build, there is no upfront cost, no licensing fee for this windmill. It was given to us by a man named Savonius, who created an open source windmill technology, which can be used by anyone well into the future. So the potential for this new technology to revolutionize the world of backup energy is very, very strong. But this is one of my ideas that I believe could come to fruition. There's 100 million poles that we could easily adapt this to. Okay, you're going to have 2 choices. Get tested or be a prisoner. Melbourne Towers. They're already doing it to the Australians now. They're forcing them to get tested or they become a prisoner. We're going to see that from Scissor Fight. Thank you. Screams on roller coasters spread the deadly virus. Wow. Okay.
When you thought it could not get any more ridiculous.
PK is going to talk about how screams on roller coasters are being touted as a way to spread the virus. That's so funny. Ah, help me. Death camps are an option. Yeah, I'm sure they have a few of them all lined up, ready to go. Well, in every state in America, there's a POW camp called a FEMA camp. Every region in the country has multiple FEMA camps that have already been set up. The government doesn't talk about them, but they are fully available. I would tear down the fencing of every FEMA camp in America. I've even said that I would do that. So, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down those FEMA camps. New normal is fascism. Wake up. Thank you. Okay, we're going to do that one too. Thank you.
Without, with a
This is good. Citizen of Gotham. He's great. Thanks for all that link support there. Appreciate it. Our link providers are super important in our show, folks. And Scissor Fight's the best of the bunch. Thank you. Everyone else is doing great too, but you really have some good stuff. And I will say this. We will be playing The Amazing Polly, although I don't agree with her about her support for Donald Trump and framing this whole thing, anti-child endangerment, as being a Trump plan. I don't see Trump doing a damn thing to stop Epstein or his cronies. I really don't. I don't even believe that Ghislaine Maxwell is in custody. Right, vertical windmills were used in Afghanistan for several centuries. I would not doubt that, yeah. Well, if you don't like Scissor Fight's links so much, so be it. But it does fill our evening show, and we do have 3 hours to fill. And I must say, I wouldn't necessarily take on those stories if he didn't bring them to me. So that's a good thing. All right. Ron Helton, you have chickens. Now you want a cow. You want to move back to the country. Well, there's land out there, man. I just showed you a piece of property. Yeah, in Kansas. Piece of property in Kansas for $2,750. You could park a vehicle on it. It's a Civil War battle site. Isn't that historic? Yeah, I might just do it. I might build the Museum of Historians and photos. In God we trust. Your camp is going to have wheels of pain. You're going to crush everyone with pain. Hey Dave, something strange is going on in my area. I live in a small town with a small airport, yet the military has started moving in fighter jets, and ever since then my signal for my internet always dies around 12 to 2 in the morning. Turns out they're using DFS signals. The tech guy from my internet company told me. DFS signals? What's that? Looking. DFS signals. DFS is a spectrum sharing mechanism that allows wireless LAN systems to coexist with radar systems. It automatically selects a frequency that does not interfere with certain radar systems while operating at the 5 gigahertz band. Wow, so they are using, they're riding on your existing LAN system, and they're using your LAN system to do military field studies. This whole thing with all the field spectrum research that's going on is really, really suspicious. Tom Wheeler, the guy who is the biggest protagonist of this stuff in the U.S., this mega technologist, has openly said that he has openly said that 4G is dangerous, but if you want to ask questions about 5G, turn around and run, he said. I don't have turmeric growing. I should grow it. I have plenty of backup turmeric in my storage, yeah. We could put water wheels at streams, absolutely. Yeah, we read that Florida scientist Rebecca Jones was fired for not manipulating COVID-19 test results. Good point. Okay, I'm going to do a little round. I'm going to talk about him for a second, then I'm going to do a round robin of various things that we got going on here. The new normal is fascism. I know. Okay, Tom Wheeler, I met him at a government convention. It was a 2010, Sacramento, California, August 16th, Dateline. I was with Sarah. We just decided we'd check this government convention out, and we walked in there, and lo and behold, I'm within talking distance of Tom Wheeler. Very interesting. Just interesting to see him. And I knew just the way he carried himself that he had some important status of some sort. And his ID card said Northrop Satellite Division CEO. I mean, it's like major, right? Director of satellites. Anyway, he really believes that we could make a lot of money on 5G. And he's a really big protagonist of that money-making opportunity. But even he warned us of the dangers. So we can't just ignore the fact that this guy who is pushing the 5G network like crazy is also warning us. So I don't know if he can even tell us what the truth is. I asked him a question. I had no idea what 5G was at the time in 2010. There is a big difference between 4G and 5G. 5G is 20 times more powerful and more dangerous. But I asked him a simple question about oil. I said, why is it America has so much oil, yet we make such a big deal about oil overseas? It was just like an offhanded question to talk to him about. Why is it oil is so prevalent? We have a lot of oil in America. To this day we do, up in Alaska, Purdue Bay, and other areas. They just discovered $1.6 trillion of oil down near Florida. I mean, seriously. And he said to me, and he gave me that look, he said, it's a lot more complicated than you might think. And it was like I was looking into this massive chasm of, what the hell do you know, buddy? You know, what the hell do you know, kind of thing. But this guy is the key to the entire industry. We need to get this guy to understand the dangers or potential safety dangers, or at least reveal that. And we need to get his testimony. So expect an investigation by a grand jury into the dangers of the 5G network. I think we have to go out this as a scientific study. Now, how can I make it better? Well, I'm offering the 5G Plus system, which no one else has talked about. I'm the only person who's ever mentioned this. And this is a simple plan, really. It's not that complicated. Every electrical field has a field radiation that could hurt people, and yeah. And the idea of building a shield around that is possible. Now, I have a Faraday shield, which is made by the Faraday concept was developed a long time ago by a man named Faraday. And the original shields protected people from field radiation. This was discovered by Michael Faraday in 1836. The idea of field radiation is potentially dangerous. So he took caging material like aluminum wire, like the kind you put on a screen door, and he wrapped it around completely around any type of radiation device, and he found that the electromagnetic frequencies were nominal. I mean, they disappear almost entirely. So I've been doing the same thing around my Wi-Fi transmitter at home and around my smart meter outside, and it does not affect its performance at all. It turns out these devices are spitting out way more energy in different directions than they need to. It really only needs one pinpoint out to a location that receives it to get the connection. But this massive amount of field energy is what really hurts us. And it's not the amount of energy, it's the pulse. Because humans have always adapted to the idea of thunder. For millennial, our bodies have adapted to thunder and electromagnetic storms. We just don't get a constant pulse of it. And that's the part that, according to top epidemiologists, is causing cancer in laboratory animals and in humans. So we need to get these things wrapped, essentially, and get limiters on them so that they won't be a danger to humanity. 450 volt capacitors should not be allowed, and that even violates FCC standards for communication devices. Really, we could only allow 50 volts to go through these units. So limiters will definitely keep these things safe. So we can still embrace the 5G network, but also build safety features that would prevent it from endangering the human population, eliminating the possibility of a pencil beam technology used against the population. Because remember, this is the technology that could veritably fry you systematically. You could be identified by a beam technology, and they could triangulate on you, and boom, you're gone. You burn up. Your air completely dries up and you suffocate. You know, if you feel like you have COVID or something, anything is possible. So I'm really worried about this, and that's why I keep bringing the issue up as we keep pushing for a third party here and coming up with new ideas to stimulate the economy. So if you aren't convinced that I'm a smarter guy than Donald Trump and Joe Biden put together, I haven't done my job. But hey, at least we keep trying, right? Okay, that's it for tonight. Thanks for coming in and participating in Technology Thursday. I do post the video I made earlier way into the evening, like 2:30 in the morning, so don't wait up for it. When everything's all put away, I go in and upload that cooking video. But it's always fun to look at. I've got over 100 recipes now out there for people to look at. Okay, so as promised, I'm gonna...
Okay, we're good to go?
I'll bring you some videos right away. Utah hearing on masks canceled as residents without masks fill the room. Check this out. This is hilarious. Utah has been pretty much very outspoken about their freedoms, and they have the right to not wear masks.
All right. Hello, everyone. This is going to be brief, I think. This is the exact opposite of what we need to be doing. We are supposed to be physically distancing, wearing masks, and so all of our medical experts, our Department of Health, everyone is encouraging us to do that. This room is not complying with these health guidelines. This creates a health concern for this meeting. So I'm going to suspend the rules, and I'm going to make a motion to continue this entire meeting to another date. Okay. Do we need to say the specific date? Okay. We have a motion and a second to continue this meeting to another date. All in favor, say aye. Can we have discussion? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the meeting is adjourned.
Well, hey there, GMA fans.
Okay, meeting adjourned, everybody. We don't want to take away your rights, that's for sure. Okay, as promised, we'll be bringing you Wayfair information right out of the chute. Is Wayfair trafficking children? Yeah, we don't know. Allegations are spinning out there on the internet about Wayfair's activities. We've looked at all kinds of telltale signs past couple days of Wayfair's involvement with selling items for $13,799 with the same name of missing people in the area. I mean, this just doesn't get any weirder. Anyway, they explained that they did sell the cabinet for $13,779.99, and it was a very deluxe cabinet. Very suspicious. All of this is leading us to wonder, are we opening up Pandora's box with all these pedos in Washington, D.C. and Hollywood? While they try to suppress our freedoms, we're prying open the truth about them. While they try to push an agenda of COVID testing and vaccinations, I'm the only candidate out there who's saying I will not force vaccinate you ever, and I will not force COVID test you ever. Nobody else is willing to make that statement, which means underneath the underbelly of corruption of the two-party system, these people are getting paid to push their COVID testing agenda. The Rockefeller Foundation killed 100 million people in 1918 with bad vaccinations. Don't let them do it again. Band together with me. The third party can stop both parties. We can unite in the middle of the political spectrum and really just gathering together, supporting our Bill of Rights. It's that simple. the likes of John D. Rockefeller is now being replaced by people like Ellen DeGeneres and a secret cabal of people that are pushing a media agenda of forced liberalism. And I actually like the Laura Ingraham work that she did on Fox. I'm really liking the work the Republicans are pushing for stopping this ridiculous slide into communism. I really like that. But I can't believe Trump is part of that effort. A lot of you Republicans are really thinking clearly about your rights, and I appreciate that. But I don't think Trump is part of that effort. Unless he says he's not going to force vaccinate you, you really can't trust him. All right, that's it for me. Thank you for coming in. I'm Mr. Right. I'm Mr. Right because I moved from the left into the center. And that's why I've called myself Mr. Right. But we've got to find common agreement where we can meet and unite. We can't take away any of our rights. That's off the table. You can't take away our rights like the Democrats and Republicans are ultimately trying to do. All right, take care. I'll be seeing you tonight in the chat room, and tomorrow we start at 5 p.m. for another day, Freedom Friday. Take care. Good night.
My heart stops to beat, cause you make me melt away. My Mr. Right, too good. Just turn my world around, cause you're the peace I find. If you sweep me off my feet, my heart stops to beat, cause you make me melt away. My feet, my heart stops to beat, cause you make me melt away. You're my Mr. Right, my Mr. Right, too good.